Let's go to our US correspondent, Michael Ware, now, who's been following this trial very closely. Michael, great to see you. This is going to be a long and emotional trial, particularly for, Derek Chauvin's family, no doubt, but George Floyd and his community. What has come out of this trial so far that you think's been particularly notable?
Look, there's just so many things that have come out of Derek Chauvin's trial so far, and it's only the third day, that are notable. I mean, today was just an absolutely emotionally devastating day. I mean, the world has seen the video footage that bystanders filmed. Well, today we saw the police body cam footage threaded together with the public footage. And look, between the audio and the closeness of the police cameras, it felt like you were right there on top of George Floyd. And one thing that's absolutely happening is that the ripple effect of this trauma of Floyd's death is being seen by all. I mean, we started the day today with a juror telling the judge that she can't sleep and said, Your Honour, I haven't slept since 2 a.m. We had one witness, a 61-year-old man, who saw the entire thing from beginning to end and even spoke to the accused officer, Chauvin. Rewatching the video and hearing the audio, he became so distressed he started sobbing uncontrollably, and the court had to be adjourned. And we heard that the cashier who received the counterfeit $20 bill that started all of this feels guilty because he accepted the bill and thinks that perhaps Floyd would still be alive if he hadn't accepted that bill. So one of the common threads we've heard from virtually all 10 or so of the civilian witnesses is that they knew what they were watching was wrong. From the off-duty firefighter who said she tried to offer medical aid but was rebuffed, to bystanders who called 911 to call the police on the police in front of them, to a 911 dispatcher herself watching a live feed who had to call for her supervisor. Now, take those reactions and compare them to Derek Chauvin, the police officer himself. We heard from him for perhaps the first and only time in this trial on his own body cam. As Floyd's body was put into the ambulance and as Chauvin's getting back into his car, he's cool, he's calm, he's unemotional, he seems unaffected, and he said, quote, "We have to get control of this guy because he's a sizable guy and it looks like he's on something." Now, Floyd himself, from the moment he was first arrested all the way through, from multiple angles, we saw him. And you could tell that he was clearly upset. He was clearly agitated. It was obvious that he was high or intoxicated, but it was equally obvious that he wasn't violent. So today's court hearing really was a day of distress.
Michael Ware, this is not the first killing that we've seen, or alleged killing, I should say, that's emblematic of the racism problems in the United States. Is this different? Is this trial going to be any different to change anything in the United States?
Well, that's an enormous question without a real answer. I mean, in Minneapolis, where the trial's being held, no police officer has ever been convicted in the death of a suspect or a civilian. These are very hard cases to prove before a jury, but boy, the evidence here is just so compelling so far. I mean, it's not like we have to rely on witness statements or police notebooks. You can really see it, hear it, you can feel it. Already, this one case, and as you say, it's not alone. Breonna Taylor, who was shot in her own apartment and all this sort of thing. We are seeing movement towards reform.
Yep.
What form that will take, and whether it will have real institutional effect, only time will tell.
Well said, Michael Ware. It is a big question indeed. Thanks for trying to answer it. Appreciate it. We'll speak to you soon.